How, you know, you had a good substitute.
Now this
for
is
it.
a choice that
A
I'm
chaotic
making.
player.
Chaotic.
Yeah, there's a good one.
I'm very well aware of very well aware of your PC culture and choices of words, but I'm a Slav. I choose to be this way. That's the difference.
Well,
All
fair
right.
enough. As FlyToMoon going to choose the Grimstroke, they're going to go for the double Doom duo.
Yup, really like it versus Phoenix and Void Spirit. Even just Grimstroke in general versus these two heroes is very nice. This amount of control. Hero provides double ways of control versus like elusive heroes, the Icarus Dive, you know, Void Spirit with Dissimulate and all that.
Phantom's Embrace in the laning stage can be a bit problematic for Phoenix if he doesn't dive before that. Obviously, Void Spirit the same. I like the Grim. I like it. I would rather see Grim as a 5 than as a 4. I see this combo of Grim plus Doom get destroyed on the offlane quite often. Even though you think, okay, Doom, he gets a good creep, you have that movement speed from Scorched Earth, you get on top of target, you destroy them. Doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
Especially if you get a core that's pretty decent versus Doom, something that can trade hits with him, which is most cores, because like they banned out the Void as well. It's definitely one of those. You hit level 3, you get 2 Raid Bands, you bash this fool a couple of times, and he uses that Scorched Earth only to run back to base. So
Yeah, I like when they just leave it like flexible. You know, it can go any of the cores right now, but don't need to force it into the top lane unless you see a perfect reason. Can go mid.
the Void ban also is because of the Phoenix combinations, right? It would be extremely strong on the side of Cyber Legacy.
I do wonder if Legacy was actually trying to decide. They took a long time before they picked up that Void Spirit, right? I wonder if they were thinking about, do we still go for that Void that we really like against a Doom, but it's with a Phoenix? So, you know.
Yeah, they ban out the Ember Spirit. You don't want to play against that. Hero that can always follow you when you do your shenanigans with your steps. He can follow, get on top of you, chain you down. So it's a pretty solid pick. Good matchup on the lane as well for Ember.
I feel like I've been seeing a lot of this Spirit plus carry meta. After I was watching like OG2 and like all these different teams, I'm just seeing it's like, okay, pick Void /AM/TB, and then we're gonna pick Ember, Void Spirit, or Storm Spirit for the mid lane. I've been seeing it actually. I looked through like every single game at this tournament. It's becoming more and more prominent as we get later on. So I think this one, it's likely to be. I mean, it's still possible to be mid, but I think they can flex it too. That's the beauty about Void Spirit in comparison to the other ones. Like let's say it's an Ember, you can't flex that so much. Void Spirit, you can actually move it to a lot of different lanes, which is kind of cool here.
I mean, the ugliness of Storm Spirit is that he has
He
a
loses.
god-awful win rate.
Yeah, he just loses, so just don't pick him anymore.
I brought on the stats about GPK the first time they picked it here in the tournament, how his win rate is goddamn horrible right now on Storm. And then you looked it up today, right? What's the win rate on Storm overall, not only on GPK? It's kind of
Here
very
at
similar.
Omega League.
Yeah.
Here at Omega League, 27.91%, 43 games.
So
That's
GPK
insane.
is doing
Yeah, that's so
great
much.
with his 30%.
Yeah,
he's above
comparatively,
average.
he's-
Comparatively.
Still not great, but
That is pretty crazy for sure. Look at these bans coming out here. So, Drow as well as that Medusa, heroes that don't care if they're doomed, right? So that's kind of why they're taking out those, because they just sit so far in the back. Doom can't ever actually get on them, and even if he does, it's kind of just like a, well, they're doomed.
Do Sven here if you're FlyToMoon, you would have Grimstroke. Sven, Phoenix is kind of good versus him, but you would have Grimstroke Sven, and look at these cores, they're all banned out. Like your Medusa, your Drow is banned out, your TB is banned out, Morphling remains. That's it.
I'm gonna wait for now. I'm gonna go for
FlyToMoon
this.
This might be the Dark Willow Mars combo again, right? And
Which means they're
Doom,
early
right?
signaling they're going to be running the mid Doom as well, right?
possibly,
Perhaps, yeah.
possibly, yeah. It's not set in stone yet, obviously.
A lot of different forms of catch versus elusive heroes, right? Willow and Grimstroke, both those heroes very good versus these kind of spirits. The roots, constant control as well. Fragile. That's the one thing I do have to say about the Willow as well as Grimstroke. Oracle, great versus both. Dispel Inkswell, Dispel Cursed Crown in a lot of situations. Magic damage negation versus 2 magic damage heavy supports.
Really strong in the lane early on versus the Dark Willow, but man, the Cyber Legacy right now, they're extremely weak when it comes to taking any objectives, and maybe a Meteor Hammer on Phoenix helps you. Catch is also limited, it comes down to Void Spirit pretty much, so... I don't know, it's just the way they draft right now, the way they've opened, isn't something that I have seen before from them. And I think it really comes down to this matchup. because you first pick Phoenix. Cyber Legacy don't really do that, but you are playing versus always on a fly and FlyToMoon, and you want to ban out the Batrider, right? So you pick that Phoenix instead. It really comes down to the matchup that might be putting them in an awkward position. Like last 4 or 5 games that I watched from them, they have a lot of success with these Svens, Medusas, and when they pick them early on as well.
I feel like they're setting up to have Blizzy go on the offlane for some reason for some reason with this Void Spirit, and they're looking to get their mid and carry as their last 2 picks.
The one problem that I see with that is you would have Phoenix 4 with an offlane that doesn't provide you with any sort of a setup, stun, control, right? Like you would have 80 Remnant and that's it. And that's fine if your mid and carry can do that, but there aren't many mids and carries that do that AoE control properly. Perhaps a Tiny or something, but he's banned as well.
He's banned. There's like Puck, but that hasn't been a super preferred mid.
I'm just thinking, like, I'm not saying I like it. I just feel like that for some reason that's where it feels like they're kind of straying their draft toward, because I just see like
look at how heavily they're hiding on the side of FlyToMoon, like what this draft was supposed to even be doing, like what your grand scheme of things is, because these heroes, like, they can do a lot of things, but you need your last pick to fill a lot of boxes, and maybe your last pick will be Sven, and because of that, Cyber Legacy, they go with the Morphling. Oh, interesting.
Bit of greed here versus these heroes. Not a lot of like stuns that catch him like instantly, but he does have to watch out for a lot of these little silences and disables for sure. But he does have an Oracle backing him up in a lot of the times.
You don't have any instant disable. Right? That's the big thing.
Until blinks.
Unless Pango and Doom get blinks, when they get blinks, by that time you'll be fine. You will always be able to shift before Doom or before some initiation.
Yeah, I think that matchup specifically, I think, is really interesting when you have Oracle, because if Morphling has any source of lifesteal, you catch him before he morphs strength, but he gets saved by the Oracle. Well, he's still swinging, and he's still getting a lot of lifesteal during that 7, 8, 9 seconds.
What's really interesting is as well, you can see the PL ban on Cyber Legacy, something they don't want to play against again. FlyToMoon banning out the Underlord, which is showing that they really want to have one of these heroes as well, right? Like some of these illusion-based ones that aren't really that strong versus Underlord in the lane. But what remains even? Mars banned out as well. Yeah,
So now Cyber Legacy is going to reveal whether or not this Void Spirit is off lane or mid. While FlyToMoon still have the option of moving Pango mid or Doom mid. But either way, it's a melee matchup. Is that something you can abuse?
Whatever they pick on the side of Cyber Legacy, it needs to be AoE control during teamfights. That's how I feel, and that's what FlyToMoon as well showed with their last 2 bans, Mars ban and Underlord ban. That's literally it, right? This AoE control that sets up the egg and everything else, because their teamfight around the egg has absolutely nothing to keep a team in it. You just disengage on the side of FlyToMoon.
I kind of like something like a Beastmaster too, because it's like the control for the Pango, and then it also gives them some type of pressure to take towers, because right now they just can't really take any of them.
Yeah, not banned out. Pretty solid actually. You mentioned the Puck, which is alright, but pretty squishy. They go with the profit.
Yeah, Void Spirit offlane. I don't know why. I kind of just felt like they were forcing it, but
not a whole lot of control from that hero. But it is a frontliner. You can at least say that.
It's a frontliner that is forcing you to fight as well, right? Like you pop that exorcism, you're taking objectives, and if they go on you, you pop the egg. If they don't, you take objectives. So
a hero that does also abuse melee matchups, which is nice.
Yeah,
great with Oracle too.
Great versus Doom as well in the mid lane.
I love having Death Prophet when you have just like, I think Oracle is obviously just like the best combo, right? Like with the siphons and everything, just works so well. Egg is not going to be defended either well, or they can just walk away from it. The catch is a bit limited on Cyber Legacy.
0 stuns,
but
you have 8 for Remnant and that's it.
Yeah, and Fortune's End is really used for that most of the time. So, okay.
There's not many carries left. TB, Phantom Lancer, AM.
This makes sense.
Yeah, those were all banned away. So Slark, that's all that's really left.
I would predict that Slark has a pretty bad win rate overall in this tournament so far, but he hasn't been picked quite a lot too. It is your counter to the Morphling, or it used to be before Morphling got busted. Right?
Yeah.
But with some nerfs to Morphling and some changes to something like a Silver Edge, maybe Slark can work here. I would love to see that build, actually.
Considering that Game 1 performance, do you feel like this sort of draft, You agree with those odds, again, that they should probably be favored over Cyber Legacy? I mean, there's a reason the FlyToMoon was in the Immortal bracket to start things off.
And size, I mean, it doesn't affect draft with like the win probability based off that. But
Sure.
I mean, again, this time actually, I'm liking Cyber Legacies. I think this Slark I think it's just tough to play this hero in general. I think it's really hard to play, just like in the lane and everything too. In this lane, he'll be okay, but I think in mid game, I'm pretty worried about how they like, just defend some towers here. Like Egg, Death Prophet ultimate kind of like collapsing on top of them. I don't feel like Pango's gonna have a good lane either, as he tends to not have a good lane anymore, especially not versus Oracle.
Whole lot of melee
tough.
heroes, so positioning is going to be kind of weird against that egg. It's very committal when you go for that egg and you choose to kill
I
it.
did see Iceberg's Doom, and it's pretty scary.
Okay.
He gets whatever he gets on the mid lane, and all his rotations look on point afterwards. And Morphling, yeah, he can E-blade the target out of the fight, but it's the Slark that gets in, kills the egg as well, can get a lot of stats from Oracle's ulti, whoever he ults.
So for your, it comes down more to the individual performance of FlyToMoon and the player-hero combinations, and we'll have to see how that affects this game too, and see whether or not FlyToMoon can get the clean 2-0.
Yes, let's find out indeed as we get ourselves ready for this game too. And Brian, we're getting again some innovation once more from FlyToMoon with these picks. Last game we saw them try out the Silence cores, the PL cores, something that not really many other teams are doing in this league. This game they're coming out with a Slark pick, a carry that nobody's really touching right now.
Yeah, I really hope this game goes to a game 3 because they've taken the int hero that gets permanent int, then they've taken the permanent agility hero, and next we're going to get Pudge. 100% going to get Pudge
This is what
in the
this
third
is going
game.
towards. I mean, dude, Iceberg has definitely played some Pudge mid in the past. So
I'm ready,
It could
man.
happen.
I'm ready. Actually, I don't want them to pick it because that means I'll see it in pubs. But hey, I'm not a huge fan of the Slark, to be honest with you. I was thinking about it a bit. It's going to have a really good start. If he gets out of control, like with a good laning stage where you see him at the top of the CS charts, I like the Slark game, but I've been feeling like when I play Slark at this patch specifically, it's been tough. They've nerfed his laning stage a bit, his base attack speed. He just struggles with all these heroes that just nuke him a lot. And the only time I've really had success with him is either a support like Ogre or a Dying that stands in front of me and takes all the damage, or a hero like Oracle or Warlock that helps me sustain. But I don't know if Grimstroke... I would say Grimstroke's nice because he helps you get kill potential,
Yeah.
but then I would pair that with like a Tiny or a Clockwork who's going to come to your lane at 3-4 minutes in and gank. So I'm just not 100% sure how his early game's going to go. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that. They did decide to go for a 3-position Void Spear. We weren't sure if they were going to make the Void Spirit a 4 and Phoenix the 3 because of the melee versus melee on the Slark, but Slark is very good against Death Prophet Morphling. Don't get me wrong. So it is a laning stage concern for me. I had the concern for Cyber Legacy last game, and this game I will also have that concern for FlyToMoon.
We'll see around this rune who's going to be able to get it. Root coming out of the way of V2. He's in on top of the bounty. And he's going to be able to grab it. Turns now over towards Blizzy. But Blizzy will be able to get away. So yeah, this core off-lane Void Spirit, we'll see how it does, and if FlyToMoon are going to get the chance to punish it. I think one thing that's going to be quite nice about the Slark as well is that when you have a team that's got something like the mid Doom, right, and it's going to be so important that Iceberg gets the chance to catch the morph by surprise. Having a Slark in your team is going to enable you to get really good map control, right? You're always going to be able to tell if when you're making these ganks, if they can see you, and if there's the chance for Iceberg to get in with the Doom and catch the morph off guard.
Oh, absolutely. I would say if Cyber Legacy and a teamfight gets all of their abilities off, they're going to win it. However, as you said, they have Doom Grimstroke for the double Doom, and they have Slark to supply the vision. So it's going to be a lot about the information game in the mid game. I actually think, oddly enough, this game, FlyToMoon will almost be playing like they have a Night Stalker, where they can take fights advantageously at nighttime due to the fact that Slark is one of the few heroes in the game with 1800 night vision, and I think because vision in this game specifically is so important, I hope to see them capitalize on it. I'm not going to assume they are.
Yeah, no, but they've definitely got the tools to do so, as you say, to set up for those big catches, big jumps. And so top lane Kuman on the safe lane, Morphs, who's going to be laning against the General, Pango, and Roger, of course, so Roger is back here in game 2. He'll be back here on the 4, playing his Willow, one of his best heroes.
This is a pretty weak offlane duo, Willow plus the Pango. So I assume Morphling kind of weak early, but once he gets level 3-ish, especially level 5, I think the lane's going to get quickly but surely worse for the Radiant side. Mid lane should also go in favor of Magical, I have to imagine.
Iceberg, man, got incredibly low there. Magical not throwing out the crypt swarm. That level 1 wouldn't have been enough to kill him.
And once he gets that level 2 Devour up, it'll be a lot better. He is almost level 3, but he did Devour a creep. He's going to have to wait about a minute to get that. But until then, that harass from DP will be quite potent.
And top lane. Roger continue to do his best to try and force Slayer back. Bottom lane, VP he's getting the free farm so far. There's barely missed a creep. 14 CS at the moment, 2 minutes in. Top lane, trying to live with the Shadow Realm hit on Kuman. Won't find onto Kuman, does find onto Slayer. Got the Swashbuckle back up, body blocks as well. All set up for first blood. General, he's able to grab it.
Okay. Maybe this is the way to play carries nowadays. I've seen V2 do this 2 games in a row on 2 separate heroes, the double ring of regen build. I'm going to keep an eye out for if any other players are also doing that. I've seen ring of regens, but double ring of regen, especially on Slark, who as a hero when he gets level 6 doesn't really need those anymore due to the nature of his ultimate. But I was talking about him kind of just getting nuked down in the laning stage, just getting harassed out, and that being one of the most annoying things about playing Slark this patch. And he clearly has built those as a way to address that, as he is top of the net worth, or sorry, top of the CS charts. And Iceberg getting it chased away here. But mid-Doom is mid-Doom, right? It's going to get the farm it needs. Levels Devour, going to get levels. As long as he's getting levels, the Devour is going to pay for itself. And top lane, Kuman's not able to get to level 3. They've hit their level 3 before on HR.
And Roger, look at this aggression from Roger. Just hear him alone really just tackling the 2 of them, keeping them right away from the wave.
Okay. The Morphling's the one struggling, and I was concerned about the Slark, so I'll just make my prediction now. With this start, I think FlyToMoon's going to smooth sail. Well, that's officially my only concern was this start.
And is that sort of, you know, for Slarks, is the reason why they're not really popular at the moment because they just punish that heavily early on? Like when you get later on in the game, is there other weaknesses that this hero has, or if you can get through the beginning, the hero still fundamentally is very strong. Roger, he's just done it on his own basically. He's just able to deal with Kuman like that. I mean, Roger, he's back here, ladies and gentlemen, in Game 2, back on the roster. I mean, Shadower did a great job in Game 1, and Roger turning up here in Game 2, making sure that he's not to be outdone by his stand-in, as he just killed Kuman on the morph.
Yeah, I think Slark's issue is he's just not good against what's good right now, which is the Faceless Voids, Anti-Mages, PLs. He doesn't like playing against those heroes, so he just has too many awkward matchups as the game goes later. And this game, though, very good against Morphling as the game goes on, very good against Death Prophet. Neither hero has a stun. Both of them are tanky sustain heroes that he just likes to hit over and over again and get those agi stacks up. And they both rely on, like, basically committing to the fight on the side of Morphling and DP. And the panel was even talking about before the Slark pick that they could just run away from Egg on the side of FlyToMoon. And Slark loves punishing lineups that can't force fights on their own terms. One of the best punishing heroes for going in, doing some damage, disengaging, re-engaging on his own terms. He loves doing that, as might be getting a kill bottom.
Yeah, with that Inkswell stun, they've got it. Very nice first bit of stats here for the Slark. I mean, 2k lead here, 3-0, just 5 minutes in. This is a hot start for FlyToMoon across the lanes.
Huh.
Was top Roger. He's got the Courier. Managed to have a chance on Slayer as well. The Shadow Realm hit, that infused raindrop helping him out a little bit. General having to back off those. Kuman turns towards the 2 of them. They're coming with the root on Roger. Roger might go down here if they've got any regen. The disarm on the morph will help out. Slayer tries to throw out one more nuke, but it won't do it.
He's also got General's bottle. He's going to go fill it up with that bounty rune. Something I'm seeing a lot more 3-4 duos do nowadays. Something to consider if you're an offlane player. Just give that bottle to your support. He'll fill it for you, then probably take it for the rest of the game. But hey, you heard it from me that he should give it back. Level 6 on Magical. Before that of Iceberg. Gonna look to pressure with this catapult. Has Devour up though, so we can just go walk up and go munch. Oh, okay, we didn't get to see it, but up. Do it. Really?
Let's see what's he saving it for. He wants to go for creep.
Yeah, okay. I was like, why isn't he doing it? He already has the Satyr creep, super value. Extra 6 regen for him. Pretty much impossible to harass him out at this point.
I've thrown out some tips as well now, Iceberg. He's feeling good right now. He knows the team overall is off to a good start across the map.
Yeah, I feel like top was not supposed to be won for the side of FlyToMoon, but they got the lane back towards their tower and kept it there.
Let's see this play here. Again with the Inkswell. Boom. He gets the stun on both of them. Top lane, Roger does fall as they were diving the tower. General's got Swashbuckle back up, has to use it to get away. This time the dive will be punished. Kuman's able to kill off Roger.
Yep, Slark's top of the CS.
Nice try.
I think he is going to be a real nuisance.
Yeah, this is going to be a really quick treads into drums this game from V2, and when you have this support backup, as we've already seen the strength of the Grimstroke, but these two down here, once treads and drums are online, it's going to be a pretty much impossible lane to lane in against these two.
Yeah, absolutely. They have no stuns like we mentioned, and drums go up in value even more on these heroes that like to build them. The move speed alone can sometimes get you out of a gank.
You see top lane, Big Num coming across, looking over towards Roger. Roger. The Curse Crown in on him. Bottom lane, it's another kill for V2. Roger, he's actually slowly living here thanks to the heal of the Purifying Flames. He's actually going to get away. So Big Num, he moves from bottom to top because he feels the bottom's a bit of a lost cause. Doesn't actually get the kill up top. And down bottom, Blizzy sticks around. You know, he's still trying to find someone out of this lane. They're able to punish that. They kill him yet again. V2's game just getting better and better down bottom.
I just feel so wrong about saying I was concerned about the laning stage for FlyToMoon. They are absolutely annihilating it. And sadly, I don't even know if Cyber Legacy has the tools to come back in the game with the heroes they innately have here, as they're going to look to kill Magical.
I mean,
nice rotation from Always Wanna Fly.
Very quick move from Always Wanna Fly. TPs are coming in, but there's no saving. There's no saving the DP. Maybe they can find some kills in return. They'll
Double damage Phoenix.
Look over towards Always Wanna Fly. They'll get one. They get Iceberg as well. TP's coming in to keep him safe. They can't get anything more. They lose their DP. A lot of reactions come in. Only gets them the support kill. Iceberg's able to walk.
He's got 25 health regen with Devour going, so...
And look at these net worths down the individual cores so far. Just 8 minutes in. And already such an advantage for FlyToMoon's free course.
Every hero is ahead of their counterpart, even the supports. That is not what you want to see if you are a Cyber Legacy fan. If you're a FlyToMoon fan, you're probably on the edge of your seat right now. So excited about how well they're doing, am I right?
I mean, they're crushing it these two games. They're crushing it. Game, and again, they're doing it with... You know, it's always exciting to see teams do it with heroes that you don't expect to see, especially at this sort of later stage in the tournament, just out of nowhere.
Can I just deeply apologize to you that I just called you fogged? That's like the biggest insult I think I've ever given a co-caster. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. I'm sure I'll survive. I don't know if fogged will now that you've said that to me. He's going to be like, Brian.
I had to throw somebody else under the bus so people could forget my mistake. As General... This is the point, right, of having no stuns. He's allowed to just play in the opponent jungle like this. Even scout out. If there's a good opportunity, he'll make use of it. If he sees 3 heroes, he goes, oh, see you later, nerds. Magical has to play so scared, hasn't even leveled his ult yet. Like, he's holding a point, but he just knows he can't even make an aggressive move on the map. As a DP at 9 minutes, that is not what you're looking for.
And just nothing at all is being done about the slot. V2 is just in his own little world, free farm galore, treads, drums, working on defusal. I mean, next thing you know, he's going to have the defusal. As Blizzy, he's away, does have the 6, a little more elusive with the Astral Step. So V2 is actually still going up, and at the same time, top lane, General and Roger, they're just going to commit in with the Rolling Thunder, take the kill onto Big Num. Phoenix goes down.
Does have a haste rune on Magical. Is this the magical rune he needs in order to make something happen in this game?
We'll see, but as you say, he's now actually spent his point. So even if he does seize an opportunity to go aggressive, he's not going to have the exorcism at his disposal.
He hasn't even used Spirit Siphon since then, so he had no reason to put that 4th point in it. But the threat of the ult is better than the ult itself, though, and I believe people say that about Ravage. Why can't it be true about Death Prophet ult?
Oh, mid lane. Iceberg, he takes one. He's got the Doom. He's just going to drop the Doom down onto Blizzy, who's coming and tried to turn this around. Big Num's there as well. Blizzy taking heavy damage. The Supernova popped. Iceberg's going to be able to get out of reach. The Void Spirit should survive here. They've got the Sunray and the Doom damage. Is it enough? It's close, but it isn't. Blizzy will live. Iceberg going for the TP out, and he'll make it away. Magical, not enough damage on his own. He's trying to chase over towards General. And General, he's got stick charges. They've also got the Ink Swell. They're going to look to turn this. Magical's in trouble. V2's TP'd over. They jump in with the pounce. Magical's dead. The tips continue to fly out here. Oh my goodness, they do. The whole squad dropping them on Magical. They know, I mean, after the end of that game 1, you could tell that things were starting to break inside of Cyber Legacy, and coming into this game 2, it doesn't look like they were able to fix them during the break, Brian.
Yeah, I just wish for their sake that tips from private lobbies actually went to your battle pass level, because those were some pretty high battle pass levels coming out from FlyToMoon. Some of those tips were worth 200, and that's a fifth
That's a lot.
a level.
Yeah, next thing they know, they're going to get the baby rush.
I know, that's like effectively 4 cents worth of tipping per thing. That's crazy. Imagine if you tipped your waitress 4 cents.
I'd be a bit disrespectful.
Yeah, that's what
Unless you...
they're disrespecting them. Here's your 4 cents for killing you.
Do you think there should be options for bigger tips? You should be able to just drop
all 10 of your
drop
weekly
20
tips
bucks
on
on
one guy.
someone.
Yeah, there you go.
And you're giving Val some ideas. They're like, yes.
You'd have to pay the
If you have
$20.
to pay to buy these big tokens,
there you go.
just slam down on people.
Yeah.
Here you go, peasant. 20 bucks for you. You scrub. Yes. Be glorious.
Oh God. I think people in Dota have enough issues already wanting to flex their e-penis. Owen, I don't think they need another reason to do it. As Morphling is queuing up E-Blade and Lincolns at the same time.
I see he's dreaming big.
Yep, I like it.
Dreaming big.
If you just put them in your quick buy, you might as well have them. It looks like he's got a ton of items right now.
I'm bringing in the 5-man bot here. Still yet to get used out of the exorcism, but now he's level 9, so Magical does have it.
Better late than never. Got to do something.
I mean, do you try and fight this if you FlyToMoon? Are we going to see TPs come in?
Yeah, it looks like they're gearing up.
Oh, it's a good fear. A solid fear. Pushing back the exorcism. And in fact, look how low the morph is. Kuman, he's got to start shifting. We'll start to do so. The Egg's out. They're going to jump straight over towards the Supernova. The Supernova's taken out. V-Tune turns over. They've got the Soulbind, the double doing it's onto the 2 cores. They get Magical and Kuman here with these ults. The False Promise is keeping Magical alive for now. The Sunray as well, healing him up. He'll be able to step away. As buyback from Big Num comes into play to provide that heal. And all things said and done, Cyber Legacy will make sure they limit the casualties. Magical does still go down and wait. The fight, it's not actually over yet. V-Tune, he's pouncing across. They're trying to chase with the X-12. Big Num dives away. Kuman, he's been caught out by the blade. V-Tune starting to try build up stacks. Blizzy comes in with the Astral Step. The nuke from the Pulse. V-Tune's getting low. He's got to get himself out of vision. Start to heal up in the shadows, and he'll do so. He's over the tree line, starts to heal back up. General, he pops the stick charges. Extra TP's coming in. Swashbuckle off the mark. Doesn't catch Kuman. The Bramble, it will, though. They've found the route. Iceberg running straight back in. Another slam down with the Void. And you're right. If this Slark can get in range, he's going to be able to find the setup. V-Tune trying to close in, but it's under the tower. Respawn's coming into play from Cyber Legacy. They'll back off FlyToMoon. Cyber Legacy still trying to run back at them. Blizzy, he's heading in. V-Tune's still around. He's got the Shadow Dance again in 10 seconds. I mean, he's happy to fight. He's very happy to fight with the Diffusal and the Shadow Dance. V-Tune will go straight back in if he sees an opportunity. See if he finds it here. Who's he going to start on? Looks Kuman. Start to burn that mana. Can they do anything to save him?
He's dying to AoE nukes.
Here's the Sunray is burning V-Tune down low. He'll retreat. Start to heal up once more. Cyber Legacy, are they still going to try and stick around? It's a little hard for them to force this fight. Still in a situation where they are quite far behind. It's General. He's got Rolling Thunder back up. Blizzy, he's in the river. Iceberg goes in with the Infernal Blade. Still thinking about using the Rolling Thunder to close in on this Iceberg. Continue to front line. Dive for from Big Num. They've got the Supernova back up. The fight's been going on that long.
And walk away.
Jumps in. Indeed, they step away from the sun. Supernova goes off. Do they want to reinitiate? General poked with the Swashbuckle. Both teams really try. Oh, they're dropping the losers now. The losers, the chickens, they're coming out from FlyToMoon. Trying to hit hard here at Cyber Legacy.
Were they not the same team that did that yesterday in the mid lane? Okay, they clearly haven't learned their lesson. I like how they do it at least now that they're up by 10,000 gold rather than at the very start of the game.
But, I mean, that is something to note. When they did that yesterday, they did then proceed to play pretty bad Dota 2 for the rest of the series. So we'll see if that happens to them again. I mean, it'll have to be quite something because right now they are in a very comfortable spot this match. Slark just nearly 3,000 ahead of that. Of the Morph and top lane V-Tune, he's finding solo kills now, he's that fat.
Yeah, Drums just gives him that extra oomph of damage in order to bring down the Phoenix through the Fire Spirits before he can get that dive off. And we've got the reverse pie going here, the 14-3. That's, for me personally, the most exciting part of this game at the current moment, as they are up by 12,000 gold. 11,000, excuse me. They are pulling it back. 12,000, never mind. At 16 minutes in.
How many decimals do you know pi to? Right.
I got 3.14152 or 159. That's as far as I go.
That's not bad. Not bad.
What do you know it to? You know anymore?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
You never had to know anymore for my engineering, so.
No, it was always
I was
5 decimals, right?
Yep, I was always
That's what
the
you
bare minimum for what I needed to get past in life, you know? Minimalist, perfectionist, reporting in. They smoked up on the Pango as well as the Dark Willow, looking to potentially bring down Blizzy here, but he is content to sit with the rest of his team in the mid lane.
V2. He's charging in. Magical's hiding in the trees, but they saw him. They saw him as they passed by. He's Julesed up for now, but Iceberg's got the BKB, commits on him. The Rolling Thunder comes crashing through over towards the Oracle, so Slayer is trying to get in. Will still get the false promise up, but again, they've been linked together with the Soulbind. Doom still down onto the DP, also pushed back by the Fear. Iceberg steps back, he'll live. Again, a fight where nobody seems to die, despite the usage of the ults. Not quite enough to get these kills.
That's the thing we got going here, though, right? Is Cyber Legacy, despite being down by so much, they still have Phoenix Egg as well as Death Prophet ult, 2 of the strongest AoE damaging spells in the game. Even after Magical's been doomed, his ghosts are gonna hurt. And FlyToMoon, even though they're ahead, they can just say, well, see ya, and just walk away. I think this is always gonna benefit FlyToMoon when cooldowns are used and absolutely nothing happens, because Slark, in comparison to all the Dire heroes, is much more powerful when no cooldowns are available. So he's just not afraid of anything. He had queued up the BKB. I was thinking that was a bit too defensive, and he's elected to go for most likely what's going to become a Sange and Yasha. Already bought the Yasha. It's a nice item once you're a threat on Slark. Makes it so your ult gives you more regen in and outside of the fights, as well as the movement speed to lock on targets, and not have to use your ultimate to get that movement speed. It's just sometimes I've seen people, for whatever reason, rush the Sange and Yasha.
Okay.
And then the opponent just walks away, which I'm not a big fan of. So after the Diffusal Blade, really good itemization from V2. And I really liked his play overall this series. The PL performance, other than maybe the Moon Shard that I was originally...
Sure, I mean, at that point when he was buying that, he kind of felt the game was over, wasn't it?
Yeah, he felt pretty confident.
He felt it was done, and in effect it was. As of course, still getting the win there in that game 1. And this game 2, it's just looking to go the same way. If anything, it's just looking a lot tougher. This game, 17 minutes in, 13k lead. It's an incredible advantage that FlyToMoon have managed to build up, and something that Cyber Legacy had just yet to be able to punish.
I could look at you all day.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, General. Actually, wait, he's talking to himself.
I mean, what do you do? What's Cyber Legacy's strengths right now whilst they're down this far?
They don't really have any, to be honest. They just have to farm their way back in the game, but sadly, since they're against Slark, they just have to huddle together around the campfire and sing those campfire songs. It's about the only option I think they got. But they are working on that E-Blade for Kuman. Once he gets that, he will be a Kuman.
Radiant structures are
I can maybe pop someone.
Thank you for not acknowledging that.
I don't even know what your joke was.
That's why you didn't acknowledge it. It's for the best. Don't worry about it.
These tier 2s being pressured here by FlyToMoon. I mean, they're waiting to see if someone does come in to try and defend, but nobody's going to come up here. That'll be an easy tower. Again, timing, getting his tier 2s before the 20-minute mark. Take away that outpost. Just force Cyber Legacy into a worse and worse position, taking away their XP bonus as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty big hit at this stage in the game. The 10-minute outposts honestly aren't that big of a deal, but the 20-minute ones, I believe it's 350 experience per hero.
Now bottom. I mean, this morph is just well and truly dead. No save for him. Slayer, he's out of there.
Wow, good vision from the observer there. Props to you for that, because they could not... It looked like they just walked right past him, but it turns out they couldn't actually see him there. As the Pi Treaty has broken. It is now 15-3 in favor of FlyToMoon. 20-minute battery runes coming out. Are they going to go for the Roche potentially with the Pangolier? Looks like they're in no rush to get anything done, though. Slark's usually the shepherd, and the opponent is the sheepdogs, as you just make them all huddle up around their home. As Bignum tries to steal that rune, does not do it.
And Blizzy's going to jump up. Blizzy's going in. They've got the silence on to always want to fly. They get one. Able to get a kill. Oh, might get the courier. They get the courier as well. All right, a couple of couriers and a kill. They'll certainly take that Cyber Legacy whilst they're as behind as they are right now. A little bit of something. I mean, over towards mid, they try and look towards Roger, but Roger, he knows they're coming.
I just don't know if this game ever gets better for the Morph. They're going to have to make use of the Z-Blade with a pretty crucial core kill to blow up space on the map for them. As General, he has Blink Yules. You're just seeing, right, the itemization from FlyToMoon. They understand that there are absolutely no disables. They don't have to build any teamfight items. They don't have to build any sustain or items. They're literally like, you use your spells, we're just going to run away. And then we'll kill you after you have no ultimates anymore. So this is where itemization comes into play in games when you're ahead. You just think, what's the opponent's way back into the game? What do their heroes do well? Because you have more items than them, you can effectively be on the same plane as them with more net worth, or with items that counter their abilities. And after you take those items away, like General is a full, let's see, 4,000 gold away or ahead of the Void Spirit. So he's like, I've got this Blink Yules. It's good against all of your heroes. And I'm a Pango, so all of my abilities are full use while I'm countering yours. I think that's a pretty cool way to vision items, and FlyToMoon looked pretty good with their itemization last game, and I like it again this game. Across the board.
Another smoke up from FlyToMoon, ready to just continue to hit Cyber Legacy hard. What's Cyber Legacy going to do in preparation? They do at least have the BKB on the DP. Things are going to start, though, with them losing the Oracle.
He's fine. Ult yourself. They were trying to bait him to do it, actually.
He didn't fall for it. Didn't fall for it. I mean, at this stage, he's like, you know what? I'm only going to be dead for 20 seconds because my level's so low. So, wants to make sure he has that ult for the next defense when his cores are under fire.
That's my strategy when I play support, Owen. Just be so underleveled when you die, you just come right back.
I mean, it's definitely one of the ups in the games where you're getting stomped, that you're not dead for that long. It's one of the nice little things that balance out the rough situation you're in.
Yeah, you can come back to life because it's so enjoyable to be alive in a game like this as an Oracle, I'm sure. Especially against Slark. Just the dream. Do you think it's actually like sadistic that they make your respawn timer lower so that you have to come back to
they
this
throw you back out there?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Cyber Legacy. Fighting the Grim. Can they get anything more? They always want to fly. Goes down, but again, everyone else just where they could look for Roche. They've got Exorcism.
This is one way to force them to fight you.
This is what you have to go for, I think, when you're this far behind. Go for the desperate plays. Drop the Ghost. Go for Roche.
They don't have any sustain, though, other than the Phoenix Sunray. And Magical is pretty low armor. Only item is a BKB.
And they've got the Fear from Roger. Here we go, here comes the control. Rolling Thunder comes in onto the three of them, straight back over, looking towards the DP. Magical's able to get the BKB off, though. False Promise also keeping him alive. General jumps over the swashbuckle, turning over to Courier. The Courier goes down. General's lost it.
Okay.
They pushed him out of the pit.
Can they finish the Roche?
Let's see if they can get back in. On the side, swashbuckle comes out to Kuman. Kuman's been doomed. Kuma's got to continue to get out of it. The Soulbind linking both Blizzy and Magical together.
Death Prophet ult is out.
The Ghosts are coming back. They do heal them up. Roger's in the middle of them with the Bedlam. Blizzy lays down the Remnant to try and block off any further chase. Iceberg, he's just continuing to run down both Slayer and Kuman. Slayer still alive. A few more hits from Iceberg will do it. Iceberg finally finishes off the kill. He'll now turn over towards Kuman. Comes in with the Infernal Blade. Kuman waveforms back to safety. The rest of Cyber Legacy just getting destroyed by the backlines of FlyToMoon, and now Magical's going to follow suit as well as they're up to the high ground by the tier 3s, diving in 20-5, nearly touching a 20k gold lead at 24 minutes in. This is a brutal game for Cyber Legacy as they just don't seem to stand a chance at what FlyToMoon's come at them with.
Yeah, can't really blame them for going for that, though. Was probably the winning play if they had any chance of coming back, as they do actually have Agility Morph this time around on Kuman, so that when he uses his E-Blade combo, it does a lot of damage. Bringing down the Doom full to 0. His BKB was still 10 seconds on cooldown, as Roger's looking to chase them with the Slark close behind.
They're heading over, Blizzy. He's got to get out with the Assimilate. V-Tune still hunting on the side. They've got the silence onto the Phoenix. He's being trapped here in the cliff. General's able to continue bouncing, also able to push him down to the low ground, so V-Tune gets the touch and he gets the bonus stats. They jump over, Silence, and Inkswell is going to be onto Kuman, and he's losing the mana. VTune's burning it all, so there's going to be little opportunities for him to wait for him out. Kuman just continuing to get punched up by VTune. The fear pushing him back as well, disabling him further. VTune now turns over towards the Death Prophet, continues to build up these stats. The Supernova's attempting VTune. He's trying to finish Magical, but he can't do so. They do still get the kill with the Swashbuckle. It'll cost him his Aegis. Supernova goes off successfully, but for FTM, they're going to continue to dive in onto Cyber Legacy past the tier 2s. Blizzy, he's got Astral Step in a second, but he's out of mana. He's got nothing to use to get away. The Root kicks in for the Bramble Maze. Blizzy goes down. Also trapped the Phoenix, found by the Pounce. It's a team wipe. Cyber Legacy all dead. As it just don't stop. FlyToMoon with a beautiful showcase of their talents here in Game 2.
I think Essence Shift is a very bittersweet ability, Owen, because it's one of the most satisfying abilities in the game, for me at least.
Oh, I know, dude, you don't need to tell me, dude. I go max Essence Shift in my games.
Yeah,
it's terrible, but I just love it.
But like when you're, the only time you really get to enjoy it is when the game's like already over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The game has to be this much of a stomp for Slark to just run into fights and hit people as much as he wants. So, just, if I could imagine anything bad for FlyToMoon right now, it's that VTune knows his time of enjoying hitting Essence Shifts is coming to a close. So maybe they'll make it interesting. Maybe he's on the same page as me here, thinking
he just wants to think of the big stacks.
Yeah, let's just die once or twice, and I'll get to play Slark longer. I remember Nico Baby did that like 2 or 3 weeks ago with Alliance, and the game would have ended at like 30 minutes. Instead, it ended at 70, and they still won. So they knew. Just got to make it more interesting.
Oh, here we go. General, he's got the blink. Into the Eels combo. Blizzy's gone. General's he's even rolling into the base. Just having a bit of a look, seeing what's going up here. I mean, this really is, I mean, just 20, they're so far ahead. They are just so far ahead. We've seen a few of these stomps today. FlyToMoon able to bring out a couple of them. This one, though, very much on a much larger scale than of Game 1. And just, there isn't a chance at all. There's no chance for Cyber Legacy, it seems. They just don't have anybody with any farm.
Yeah. Shiva's even has the negative healer on it now, so Doom has Shiva's and Slark has Scotty. And we have a Morph who relies on Attribute Shift. That's considered healing. We have Death Prophet. I would say she relies on healing. And then we have Oracle. I would also say he relies on healing. Oh, wait. There's even a Phoenix who also relies on healing. Also, all 4 of these heroes are ranged, so the Scotty even slows more.
Oh! They try to step out and go in onto Iceberg. They've popped the Exorcism. Ghost as well are out, but with the False Promise onto the DP, is it enough to save them? The Supernova's there on the high ground. They won't get the egg, but they do get the DP. Enough damage done by VTune through that False Promise. Ends the life of Magical. As that's Magical out for 40. Even if he was able to come back, he wouldn't have Exorcism. Already using the ult. And now onto the Rex. They'll go FlyToMoon. Blizzy trying to slow it down. He's got the setup here with the Remnant. V2 getting nuked down low by the E-Blade. Not low enough, though. He'll live. And Kumai just dies to General. He was in full agi. General just rolls in and blows him up. That's GG. That is GG. This game is over. This series is over. As FlyToMoon take this one 2-0. And this game too, there was no holding back from FlyToMoon. And with the draft again as well. They just do it with this innovation. They come in with a slot pick, and you know what? VTune had an incredible game.